I stood at the door, briefcase in hand, wearing an utterly unremarkable black pencil skirt suit. My hair was pinned up in a high bun. My diamond earrings glinted. No one knew their true worth. They were worth more than this company's quarterly net profit. "Which department are you from?" A shrill female voice came from beside the head seat. I looked up. A woman was standing next to the CEO's chair. She wore a tight-fitting, fire-engine red dress. The neckline plunged indecently low. Her nails were painted a garish, bright fuchsia. She held a file folder. Her posture screamed she owned the room. She was looking at me like I was trash. "I'm talking to you." Her voice rose another octave, sharp and grating. "This is the executive boardroom of the Hua Corporation. What is a low-level employee like you doing here? Did the cleaning lady get lost?" Over 20 executives sat around the table. A few recognized me. Their faces instantly drained of color, but most had never seen me. Because my husband, Hua Shiyan, never let me appear in public. He was the world's most eligible bachelor. A silver-haired VP spoke cautiously. "Miss, it doesn't matter who she is." The woman, Secretary Zhao, cut him off sharply. She clicked her 10-centimeter heels over to me, looking down her nose at me. "Let me make this clear. I am CEO Hua's girlfriend, and the future Mrs. CEO of this company. And in that capacity, I'm firing you." I didn't speak. I just looked at her calmly. The corner of my mouth even lifted slightly. That expression infuriated her. She turned to the room and shrieked, "See this? Now any stray thinks they can join an executive meeting. Security. Call security to throw her out. Secretary Zhao, maybe wait for CEO Hua? CEO Hua will be here soon. My husband asked me to handle the pre-meeting arrangements." Secretary Zhao lifted her chin, preening. "I'm in charge of this board meeting today." The word husband hit my ears like a stone dropped into still water. Without a word, I pulled out a chair and sat down. "How dare you sit?" Secretary Zhao's eyes widened. "Are you deaf? I said you're fired. Now." Immediately, I lifted my gaze to meet hers. My voice was soft. "Fire me? Are you sure?" "Dead sure." She snatches the employee roster from the HR manager's hands. "What's your name?" "I'll have HR process your termination right now." "No severance. You barged into a high-level meeting. That's a major breach of company policy." I lean back in my chair and say slowly, "Fine. Go ahead. Draft the termination notice first. Stamp it. Let me see." Silence. Her reaction's off. Fired people rage. Or panicked. But she's too calm. It's a chilling kind of calm. Secretary Zhao is pricked by this calmness. But she quickly regains her arrogance. "You think I won't? I'm in charge of the company seal, I have plenty." She turns and shouts toward the door, "Xiao Wang. Bring the company seal." No one answers. The conference room door is pushed open again. My husband, Hua Shiyan, walks in. He's wearing a custom-tailored dark gray suit. His height, over 6 feet, makes him stand out in the crowd. His features are sharp and handsome. The limited edition watch on his wrist is worth a mansion. As he enters, he wears his usual, composed smile. But the smile freezes completely the moment he sees me. His Adam's apple bobs. He can't utter a single word. I glance at him. My gaze is as calm as if looking at a stranger. But that woman doesn't seem to notice his strangeness. She clicks over in her heels and clings to his arm. Pressing her whole body against him, she coos, "Darling, you're here." "I'm just dealing with an employee who barged into the meeting." "Wait a moment, I'll be right with you." Hua Shiyan's whole body goes rigid. I can see beads of sweat breaking out on his forehead. "Let go," he says in a low voice. Secretary Zhao doesn't. She clings even tighter. And shoots me a triumphant look. "Hear that? My husband says deal with you first. Go." Before I call security and make a scene, I smile. It's a faint smile. But it makes every hair on Huasher Yan's back stand on end. He knows this smile too well. 3 years ago, I used this smile to get him to sign the prenup. 2 years ago, this smile made our top shareholder yield. The last time I smiled like this was at a board meeting, where I replaced 3 VPs in one go. Secretary Zhao, is it? I finally speak. My voice is calm, level, just loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. You said you're the Mrs. CEO? Then I have a question. Is your name on the marriage certificate? Secretary Zhao's face changed, but she quickly smiled again. We haven't registered yet, but everyone in the company knows he only loves me. We've been together for 2 years. I've been handling all the major and minor company affairs for him. If I'm not Mrs. CEO, then who are you? Someone in the conference room gasped. The old vice president who recognized me was trembling. I slowly stood up, smoothing my skirt. I walked towards Secretary Zhao step by step, unhurried. My heels drummed on every heart. You say you handle all his company affairs? I stopped in front of her, 3 centimeters shorter. But my presence made her instinctively take a step back. Then do you know who the largest shareholder of this company is? Secretary Zhao retorted stubbornly. Of course it's him. He's the CEO. He holds 40%. And the remaining 60%? It's dispersed among several major shareholders. What's it to you? I pulled a document from my briefcase. I laid the shareholding certificate on the table, clearly stating I hold 1% of this company's shares. And of the remaining 60%. My voice was as calm as reading a weather report. 51% is mine. The room erupted. Secretary Zhao's face turned deathly pale in an instant. She whirled around to look at Huasher Yan. Who is she? Who the hell is she? Huasher Yan's lips were trembling. He opened his mouth, trying to say something. My gaze, calm as still water, pinned him down like 2 knives. Zhao panicked, unable to get a word out. She grabbed his sleeve, shaking it. Tell me who she is. Is she some old flame of yours? Speak. I watched this scene, feeling nothing inside. I was just thinking about how I was so blind back then. To choose such trash. CEO Hua. When I called him CEO Hua, everyone present heard the coldness and distance in it. Your secretary is asking who I am. Aren't you going to answer? He finally spoke. His voice was dry, like it was full of sand. Jiang Xuaning. Secretary Zhao's eyes widened, as if she suddenly realized something. She stumbled back 2 whole steps. Jiang Xuaning? You're Jiang Xuaning? I sat back down in my chair, crossing my legs. I folded my hands in my lap. Like a queen on her throne. So, Secretary Zhao has heard my name. Secretary Zhao completely panicked. Of course she'd heard my name. I built this company from a second-rate firm into the industry leader. The whole business world knows Hua Corp's success isn't because of the man standing at the podium. It's because of the wife behind him. And from her very first day at the company, Secretary Zhao has been parading around calling herself Mrs. CEO. HR changed her title to Special Assistant to the CEO. She thought she'd latched onto a big, powerful tree. She didn't know the tree's roots were in another woman's hands. Impossible. Secretary Zhao's voice trembled. He said you're just a housewife, not handling company affairs. He said you two have been living separate lives for a while now. I tilted my head and looked at CEO Hua. I'm a housewife? Sweat beaded on his forehead and dripped down. Living separate lives? I continued. Then I'd like to ask about the 8 million from the company account last month. You said it was an investment loss. It bought a Riverview apartment for Secretary Zhao. Secretary Zhao's face wasn't just pale anymore, it was ashen. I stood up and walked over to her, staring into her eyes. And that necklace around your neck? CEO Hua gave it for your birthday. That money was company funds. I signed the approval. Secretary Zhao was trembling. You thought I didn't know? My voice finally turned icy. A frigid wind swept the boardroom. Secretary Zhao. You've been here 2 years. I've seen all your pay stubs. I've audited every expense report you submitted. You call yourself Mrs. CEO? Then do you know whose account the money you spend every month? As this Mrs. CEO actually comes from? Secretary Zhao was completely speechless. Her mouth hung open, like a gasping fish. The boardroom was dead silent. I turned to look at CEO Hua. My voice returned to calm. A calm is still as stagnant water. CEO Hua. Shall we begin? Secretary Zhao stood rooted. Her legs like lead, unable to move. Not one of the 20+ executives in the room dared to speak. All eyes were darting back and forth. Between me, him, and Secretary Zhao. Watching a real-life soap opera unfold. He finally moved. He shook off Secretary Zhao's clinging hand. And took 2 steps toward me. The look on his face shifted from shock to groveling. Xuanning. Let me explain. She didn't mean it. He used my name. I lifted my eyes to meet his. My voice was flat, like I was commenting on the weather. He choked. Secretary Zhao, however, seemed to snap back to reality. She gritted her teeth, straightened up, and said, Ms. Jiang. So what if you're a major shareholder? We're in love. You just have money. Do you think money can buy love? I didn't look at her. Who signs your paycheck, Secretary Zhao? Your base is $35,000 a month. Plus allowances, averaging $50,000 total. I turned to a page and pointed at a number. This money all comes from the company's accounts. And 51% of the company's money comes from me. Which means, $25,000 of your monthly salary is from me. Secretary Zhao's face turned ashen. I'm paying for my husband's mistress. Secretary Zhao, who do you think is the fool here, you or me? Someone in the boardroom couldn't help but snicker. Secretary Zhao was trembling with rage. She pointed at me and shrieked, you're going too far. You think you're so great just because you have a few lousy bucks? He doesn't love you. He told me himself. He said you're cold-blooded and live apart. All you know is work, work, work. He said you're not even a real woman. The boardroom fell deathly silent. Huo Shiyan's face went paper white. He whipped around and glared at Secretary Zhao. Shut up. But she wouldn't stop. She was backed into a corner. Why should I shut up? She spat out everything. Everything I'm saying is true. Didn't you tell me? You said she's a shrew. You said you can't wait to divorce her. You're only staying for the money. You said you'd dump her after the share transfer. Enough. He slammed his hand on the conference table. The teacups jumped. I sat perfectly still in my chair, watching his furious outburst. Watching Secretary Zhao's hysterical expression. My heart was completely calm. Not that it didn't hurt. I stopped caring long ago. When I married into the Hua family. I thought I was marrying for love. Turns out. Love isn't half as reliable as a share certificate. Secretary Zhao. I spoke up, my voice quiet. But it cut her shrieking off instantly. Are you finished? Please leave. We have a board meeting to conduct. Why should I leave? Secretary Zhao jutted her chin out defiantly. I'm the CEO's special assistant. I can attend board meetings. I looked at the head of administration, Director Li. Who signed the special assistant appointment? Director Li was sweating profusely. He stammered, it was a verbal appointment by CEO Hua. We haven't gone through the formal appointment procedures yet. So her official title is still administrative secretary. Can a secretary attend a board meeting? No, she can't. I nodded and looked at Security Chief Wang by the door. Please escort Secretary Zhao out. During a board meeting, non-participants are not permitted to be present. Security Chief Wang stood at the door, visibly conflicted. He instinctively looked at Huo Shiyan. His face was livid, teeth gritted as he spat out, Xuanning. Do you have to do this? I looked at him. My gaze unnervingly calm. CEO Hua. I'm chairman, acting by bylaws. What, you don't think the bylaws should be followed? He was speechless. He knows the bylaws best. I hold 50% shares. I'm controlling shareholder. My word rules. Forget kicking out a secretary, even kicking out the CEO himself. It's just a matter of a single sentence from me. Seeing he wouldn't speak up, Security Chief Wang had to ask Secretary Zhao to leave. Secretary Zhao's eyes widened. She stared. You let her humiliate me? Are you even a man? He kept his eyes downcast, not daring to utter a single word. She shrieked, you weren't like this last night in bed. You said you loved me most. You said that old hag couldn't compare to a single one of my fingers. You said you were going to divorce her and marry me. Say something now. My hand, flicking through documents, paused. Old hag? I'm 28, top beautiful female entrepreneur. Secretary Zhao probably doesn't realize what she just implied. Chief Wang, if Zhao won't cooperate, call legal. Have her charged with trespassing. And while you're at it, pull the surveillance footage from last night. Let's see exactly where CEO Hua went. Secretary Zhao's face instantly went pale. Hua Shiyan's face went pale too. There are cameras in the company hallways, the underground garage, and the elevators. If we really pull that footage, his visit to Zhao's last night is proof. Enough. He finally exploded. Pointing at Secretary Zhao, he roared, get out. Now. She flinched at his shout, whole body trembling. She cried, you yelled at me? Last night you promised to buy me a yacht. And now you're turning on me just like that? Get out. His voice was so loud the whole building could probably hear. Zhao covered her face, fled sobbing. The door slammed shut behind her. Silence returned to the room. He took a deep breath. I forced a smile and addressed the executives. Sorry. Family drama was a show. A little misunderstanding. Let's get back to the meeting, he said, moving to take the head seat. CEO Hua. My voice cut in from the side. You're in the wrong seat. He froze. The head seat is for the chairman. The seat he's occupied for 3 years. And now I'm saying it's wrong. This meeting today. I stood up and walked to the head of the table. I scanned the room, meeting every eye. Is an emergency board meeting I called. As largest shareholder, I have announcements. His heart plummeted. I pulled out the chairman's chair. Sat down calmly. Haven't sat there in 3 years. When I married him, I voluntarily stepped down as chairman. Kept only my shares, content to be the woman behind the throne. I thought we were a team. I thought he'd be grateful. He'd cherish it. Instead, he used my power. He used the money I gave him to keep a mistress. And then told that mistress I was a washed-up hag. A cold laugh echoed in my mind. Since he doesn't appreciate it, I'm taking it all back. First item. My voice was clear and sharp. Effective immediately, full financial audit. Every major expenditure from the past 3 years, including asset acquisitions, investments, executive compensation, and expense reports, all will be re-examined. His hands began to tremble. Over the last 3 years, how much money had he funneled out of the company accounts? He'd lost count himself. Buying Secretary Zhao an apartment, a car, jewelry, funding his lavish entertainment outside. Those shady, unexplained investments, the money won't hold up. Second item. I continued. All executive appointments and promotions, from this moment forward, require formal board approval. Any verbal promises or backroom deals are null and void. A direct shot at special assistant to the CEO. Third item. I paused here for effect. My gaze settled squarely on him. The CEO is suspected of serious financial misconduct. Pending the audit results, all his approval authority is suspended. He shot to his feet. What are you implying? Exactly that. I slapped the share certificate onto the table. The sound wasn't loud, but it seemed to shrink him by half. The room was dead silent. Everyone knew the real storm was just beginning. He stood there in the conference room, hands braced on the table, like a cornered animal. He stared at me, sitting in the chairman's seat, at my utterly unreadable face. A wave of pure terror washed over him. Not because I'm so formidable, but because he knows exactly what he's done all these years. 3 years. 3 whole years. He went from a diligent, small-time business owner to a flashy, high-rolling CEO of a corporate empire. That entire transformation was funded by my money and my resources. If I pull it all back, he's left with nothing. Xuening, he says, his voice softening. Let's talk this out calmly. Do we have to air this in front of everyone? Send them out. Let's talk privately, as husband and wife. I glance at him. CEO Hua, this is a board meeting. Not our home. If you want to discuss personal matters, you can wait until after the meeting, CEO Hua. I open the file in front of me. Why don't you explain to everyone present what that $8 million expenditure last month was for? His lips tremble. 8 million. He used that to buy Zhao's apartment. He reported it as an external investment loss. The books were cooked to perfection. But he never expected I'd already traced it. He panics. That was a project loss. Unrelated to Zhao. I look up. My gaze is ice cold. CEO Hua. Is it company policy to refer to your secretary by her first name instead of her title? What does the employee handbook say? No nicknames for superiors. Your own rule. He's left speechless. The executives exchange uneasy looks. They're all sharks. They can smell the power shift in the room. When I stayed out of it, he was the undisputed king here. Now that I've stepped in, his little empire is about to be stripped bare. Zhou Guoping agrees. The chairwoman is right. The company's finances do need a thorough review. Profit margins have been declining for 2 years. Yet management expenses keep rising. Something's off. The CFO nods in agreement. I support the chairwoman's decision. A full audit is absolutely necessary. Watching these executives who once bowed and scraped before him, now flocking to my side, I can feel his hatred burning. But he can't say a word. Since everyone agrees, I close the folder. It's settled. The audit team from EY arrives tomorrow. All must cooperate fully, including CEO Hua. I deliberately emphasize those last 6 words. They're a knife to his heart. He grits his teeth. A vein throbbing on his forehead. But what can he do? I hold 51% of the voting shares. When I say audit, nobody dares to say no. In this company, I am the true king. And one more thing. I stood up. Regarding Secretary Zhao's employment. His heart tightened again. Secretary Zhao has been here 2 years. From admin assistant to secretary. And now she calls herself the CEO's special assistant. None of these promotions went through proper evaluation procedures. I looked at the head of HR, Director Liu. Who hired this person in the first place? The HR director was sweating profusely. He said cautiously, it was CEO Hua's personal instruction. He said to bypass the process. Just hire her directly. All the promotions were also verbally approved by CEO Hua. I nodded. Then I turned to look at CEO Hua. You drafted the company's HR system. It clearly states. All hires and promotions need HR and board approval. You're the one breaking the very rules you set. Don't you owe us an explanation? He flushed, then paled. Like a thief caught red-handed, he opened his mouth. Finally an excuse. Secretary Zhao is capable. A rare talent. That's why I made an exception to promote her. Rules are rigid, but people are flexible. For growth, we can't be rigid with talent. I laughed. Her degree is a correspondence BA from a diploma mill. Her resume said she was a small company receptionist for 2 years. In 2 years here, not one of her projects succeeded. Last month, that procurement project she led? Supplier's quote was 30% above market. That's your rare talent? He was completely speechless. He knew her capabilities best. She's just a trophy. All she knows is how to dress up and act coy. She's useless. But he kept her for other reasons. CEO Hua. My voice wasn't loud, but it made everyone in the conference room prick up their ears. Does her performance justify her position and salary? Or is there another reason for your special treatment of her? The question was too blunt. So blunt he couldn't dodge it. He stood there, his lips trembling for a long moment. Finally squeezing out a sentence. Xuanning, what do you want? What do I want? I repeated the question, as if savoring how ridiculous it sounded. CEO Hua. That's the question I should be asking you. You kept a mistress behind my back. Spent the company's money to buy her houses and cars. Even let her call herself Mrs. CEO. What do you want? His legs began to feel weak. He remembered a month ago, when she wanted a couple's photo for her social feed. He agreed. After the photo was posted, many people in the company saw it. They all thought Secretary Zhao was really his girlfriend. He didn't clarify. Secretary Zhao's vanity satisfied him. Being looked up to, that feeling was too good. But he forgot. I'm not an ordinary wife. I'm a woman who can strip her of everything at any moment. Xuanning, I was wrong. He finally dropped all pretense, his voice cracking with tears. I really know I was wrong. Secretary Zhao seduced me. She threw herself at me. I lost my head for a moment, I couldn't resist. But the one I love is still you. That never changed. I looked at him. No anger in my eyes, no sorrow. Not even a flicker of emotion. This calmness was more terrifying than any outburst. CEO Hua, let me ask you. Do you think just saying, I was wrong, is enough for my forgiveness? Do you think by pinning all the blame on Secretary Zhao, I'll believe you? Do you think what I care about is your infidelity? He froze. I don't care that you cheated. My voice was as calm and still as stagnant water. I care that you used company funds to keep your mistress. That 8 million was company money. Not your money, CEO Hua. Out of that 8 million, 51% is mine. You used my money to support your mistress. Don't you think that's a bit much? His legs gave way completely. He leaned on the desk, slowly sliding down. Finally, he fell straight to his knees on the floor. The entire conference room was stunned. The CEO of the company, a billionaire entrepreneur, in front of over 20 subordinates, knelt before his own wife. Xuanning. Please, give me another chance. He knelt on the floor, tears streaming down his face. I was wrong, I know I was wrong. I'll never do it again. I'll do whatever you say. Investigate however you want. I'll cooperate fully. Just, please, don't make this public. Don't let anyone outside know. I looked down at him, like he was a complete stranger. This man, weeping and begging on his knees, was the man I defied my family to marry. This man. The one who swore on our wedding day to love and protect me forever. This man. Who, with my support, climbed to the CEO position, only to turn around and find another woman. And then tell that woman I was just a washed-up housewife. I slowly smiled. It was a faint smile. Barely a curve at all. But it sent a chill through everyone in the room. CEO Hua. I said, what do you think you look like, kneeling there? If people see you, they'll think I, as chairman, am bullying you. He knelt frozen, tearful eyes up. I didn't offer a hand to help him up. I turned to the executives. Today's board meeting is adjourned. All departments will cooperate fully. Meeting dismissed. I took my briefcase and left without looking back. The sound of my flats hitting the floor, tap, 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 like a death knell echoing in his heart. As I stepped into the hallway, a crowd had already gathered. News travels fast. From the moment I entered that room until now, less than 20 minutes had passed, and the whole office building was in an uproar. People from every department were pretending to pass by, all waiting for the show. When I emerged, they all silently parted to make a path. Not a soul dared to speak. But the fire of gossip burned bright in every single pair of eyes. I walked the long corridor, back straight. My chin held high. My aura made onlookers shrink back. When the elevator doors opened, I paused. Secretary Zhao was standing inside. She must have waited downstairs, gotten no answer, and come back up. Her makeup was a mess from crying. Eyeliner smeared, mascara running down her cheeks. She looked utterly pathetic. Our eyes met. She instinctively took a step back. Her back hit the elevator wall. I stepped in. Pressed the button for B1. The door slid shut. Only 2 women left in the cramped space. Secretary Zhao's breathing grew ragged. Her eyes glued to the descending floor numbers. Willing them to drop faster, faster. Secretary Zhao. I spoke suddenly. She flinched. What you said in the conference room. That he plans to divorce me and marry you. True? Secretary Zhao bit her lip, silent. Yes or no? She took a deep breath, summoning courage. So what if it is? He said, a woman like you has nothing but money. He feels no warmth with you. Not like me. I can give him everything he wants. I smiled. Everything he wants? Such as a gentle, caring girlfriend. A home where he can relax. She trailed off. Because my expression was too calm. So calm it made her feel like a pathetic clown. Secretary Zhao. I took a business card from my purse and handed it to her. My lawyer's contact. If you need it. You can talk to him. She stared at the card. It read, Senior Partner, Junhee Law Firm. What does this mean? It means. The elevator dinged. B1. The doors opened. I stepped out, then glanced back at her. All assets under his name. Including that riverside apartment he gave you. Our marital property. I can sue to reclaim them anytime. You might end up with nowhere to live. Secretary Zhao's face turned paper white. So I suggest you talk to my lawyer. Figure this out. I turned and walked away. Secretary Zhao froze in the elevator. She didn't even notice. I walked out the main entrance. My driver was waiting. A black Maybach. Understated luxury. License plate, 88888. Only one person in this city has that plate. The security guard saw me, snapped a salute. Good afternoon, Madam Chairman. I gave a slight nod. Just as I was about to get in, hurried footsteps behind me. Xuaning. Xuaning. Wait. Huasher Yan came running out of the building. His suit jacket unbuttoned, hair disheveled. He looked utterly wrecked. He stopped before me, panting. Xuaning. Let's talk. Please. Just talk. I looked at him, silent. I know I was wrong. I know it. I really do. His voice was pleading. But, you can't do this to me. We're husband and wife. Whatever it is, we can talk about it at home. Causing a scene like this at the company. It's not good for anyone. When you were with your mistress on the side, did you ever think about what was good for anyone? When you used company money to buy a house for someone else, did you ever think about what was good for anyone? That shut him up. You have 3 days. Clean up all your mess. That includes Secretary Zhao. That includes the 8 million. All your dirty tricks at the company. We'll talk divorce. The word divorce was like a knife. Plunged straight into his heart. Divorce? His voice cracked. Xuaning. You want a divorce? No. I won't agree to it. Your agreement doesn't matter. I got into the car. I know about the infidelity and stolen assets. You know exactly how the court will rule. He lunged forward, grabbing the door. Xuaning. I'm begging you. Don't divorce me. I'll do anything you say. I'll fire Secretary Zhao right now. I'll sell the house. I'll return every single cent. Just please, don't leave me. Looking at his tear-streaked, snot-covered face, The last shred of softness in my heart vanished. Drive. I told the driver. The driver started the engine. He was forced to let go of the door, stumbling back a couple of steps, helplessly watching the Maybach speed away. He stood at the company entrance, like a dog abandoned by its owner. Employees coming and going shot him strange looks. No one dared to approach. No one dared to speak. I sat in the car. My phone vibrated. A text from Secretary Zhao. Ms. Jiang. Please, have mercy on me. I was tricked too. He told me he was single. He said you were his ex-wife. That's why I was with him. I really didn't know he had a wife. I read the text. Didn't reply. A moment later, another text came. Ms. Jiang, I know a lot about him. There are other women besides me. If you let me go, I'll give you all the evidence. My finger hovered over the phone screen. Other women. I took a deep breath. And texted Secretary Zhao back 2 words. Let's talk. The car sped along the city's elevated highway. I watched the scenery blur past the window. Suddenly, I felt exhausted. Not physically. Just soul-tired. I took out my phone. Scrolled to the contact saved as Dad. Hesitated for a long time. Still didn't make the call. When I married him, Father was against it. He said I was blind, that he was no good, but I wouldn't listen. I was determined to marry him, even fought my father. The old man was right all along. I smiled bitterly. I chose this path. I'll see it through, but he'll be on his knees. Not me. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a voice message from Huo Yan. His voice was choked with fake tears. Xuanning, if you dare divorce me, I'll kill myself. I swear. I let out a cold laugh and tossed the phone aside. Kill himself? That man would never. A guy who climbed the ladder by marrying up, keeps a mistress on the side, and still spends his wife's money. He's tougher than a cockroach. Next morning, my phone was blowing up. Huo Yan called over 40 times. I ignored them. Secretary Zhao sent over 20. I only replied to one, Starbucks, 10 a.m. At 10 sharp. I showed up at the most upscale Starbucks downtown. I was wearing a white blouse with black wide-leg pants. My hair down, looking like a young college student. My watch and diamond earrings screamed my status. Secretary Zhao was already there, sitting in the far corner. Head bowed, her hands tightly clutching a long cold latte. She wasn't wearing heavy makeup today, just a plain white t-shirt and jeans. She looked haggard, with dark circles under her eyes. I sat down across from her. Ordered an Americano. 2 women facing each other. Silence hanging heavy. After a long while, Secretary Zhao apologized first. I was silent. Just waited for her to continue. I really didn't know he had a wife. Secretary Zhao looked up, her eyes rimmed red. He told me he was single. Said you were his ex-wife. Said you'd been divorced for ages. I believed him. I stirred my coffee, my voice flat. Secretary Zhao. You've worked by his side for 2 years. You never once questioned his marital status? In the company's HR files, it clearly states married. You never saw that? Secretary Zhao bit her lip. I saw it. But when I asked him, he said it was just for tax purposes. That you two were over. You believed him? I trusted him. Tears spilled down Secretary Zhao's cheeks. Because he was so good to me. Bought me bags, clothes, a car, an apartment. Promised to marry me someday. No one ever treated me that well. She sobbed. I felt no pity. Not because I'm heartless, but because I know. For women like her, tears are a weapon. Secretary Zhao, where's your evidence? Secretary Zhao froze for a second. She pulled out a USB. His chat logs are in here. And records of him siphoning company assets. There are audio recordings too, she whispered. Is enough to ruin him completely. I twirled the USB. Why give this to me? Just to get me to let you off the hook? Secretary Zhao bit her lip. I hate him too. She looked up. A flash of venom in her eyes. He lied to me for 2 whole years. Made me believe I'd found true love. Then you show up yesterday. And he immediately turns on me. Made me leave in front of everyone. What does he think I am? A dog he just whistles for and kicks. I watched her. Then smiled. You don't hate him for being a scumbag. You hate him because he was bad to you. If he'd treated you well, you'd still be playing the happy little Mrs. CEO right now. You wouldn't feel an ounce of guilt toward me. You'd see me as the nagging wife in your way, right? Secretary Zhao's face went pale. I'd hit the nail on the head. Didn't I though? I slipped the USB drive into my purse. I'll take your evidence. But I'm not letting you go just because you handed this over. How much of my money? About 12 million. That money? You're paying it back. Secretary Zhao's eyes went wide. 12 million? How can I pay that back? Your problem. I stood. 2 choices. First, I give this to the police and charge you with conspiring to embezzle marital assets. You might go to prison. Second, you cooperate. Hand over all your dirt on him. I'll only pursue civil damages. No criminal charges. Secretary Zhao's face went sheet white. What are you saying? What I'm saying is, I leaned down, locking eyes with her. It's not your money I want. It's his life. You help me bury him, and I'll let you walk away. Secretary Zhao started trembling all over. She looked into my cold, detached eyes. And finally understood one thing, this woman is the real deal. A true predator. I'll do it. Secretary Zhao's voice shook. What do you need me to do? I sat back down. I slid her a folder. Records of his suspicious transactions. Check them one by one. Find every bank record, contract, and invoice. You're his secretary. You have access to all of these. Secretary Zhao opens the folder. Inside, row after row lists hundreds of transactions. The total is over 200 million. Her hand shakes worse. This much? Just the tip? My voice is terrifyingly calm. You're his secretary. You know where his money goes. Help me find all evidence. The more detailed, the better. Secretary Zhao looks up at me. You knew about his affairs all along. Didn't you? I don't answer that question. I pick up my coffee and take a sip. You've been investigating him. You were just waiting for today. There's terror in Secretary Zhao's voice. You let me stay 2 years. You watched me spend your money. You watched me swagger around the company. You knew everything. But you said nothing. You were waiting for this day. I set the coffee cup down. I looked Secretary Zhao in the eye. You're only half right. I was waiting for him to expose all his weaknesses. And then, to crush him completely. As for you, you're just the worm on the hook. I don't care how much you squirm. Secretary Zhao's tears fall again. Not from sadness. From fear. She realizes she was a pawn. He used her for his vanity. I used her to gather evidence. She thought she was the leading lady. She's not even a supporting character. Just a prop. Ms. Jiang. Secretary Zhao suddenly slides off her chair. She kneels directly on the floor. Please, have mercy on me. I really know I was wrong. I'll never dare to do it again. I'll do whatever you want. Just please, don't send me to jail. The other customers in Starbucks are stunned. They all start looking over. Secretary Zhao kneels on the floor, her makeup running from her tears. She looks utterly pathetic. I look down at her. My expression doesn't change. Secretary Zhao. Get up. My voice is low. I'm not him. I don't need people to kneel for me. Just do what I asked. I won't make it hard for you. Secretary Zhao stays kneeling, afraid to get up. Her tears plop onto the floor. I stand up. I pull $200 from my wallet and place it on the table. To the server, I say, her coffee is on me. After saying that, I walk out without looking back. Secretary Zhao kneels on the Starbucks floor, sobbing uncontrollably. People whisper. Some take photos, some record video. She can't care anymore. She knows she's finished. Completely finished. After leaving Starbucks, I go straight to the law firm. Fang Yuanzhou was already waiting in the conference room. Files were spread all over the table. He's the founder of Juanhe Law Firm. Also my college classmate. We've known each other for 10 years. You're here. He looked up, adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses. Have a seat. Let me brief you on the situation. I sat down. I took the thick stack of documents he handed over. We're close to wrapping up your husband's case. He used the projector. A dense network of relationships appeared on the screen. Funds he siphoned from the company over the past 3 years. Total, 237 million. 3 main channels. First, overseas accounts under his own name. About 80 million. Second, the accounts for his mistresses. Around 50 million total. Third, some shady investment projects. The rest, over 100 million. I reviewed the materials. I frowned. Besides Secretary Zhao, who are the other mistresses? There are 3 more. Fang Yuanzhou pulled up another page. One named Zhang Qian. A model he's been keeping on the side. They met 2 years ago. He bought her a Porsche and an apartment. Total value around 8 million. One named Li Wanting. A former employee of his company. He set her up after she quit. A fixed monthly payment of 50,000. And one more. Fang Yuanzhou paused. Who is it? I asked. Her name is Su Xiaoxiao. He started keeping her the very first year of your marriage. The longest duration, the most stable relationship. He spent the most money on her, roughly 20 million. Including a villa. The conference room fell silent for a few seconds. I took a deep breath and closed the folder. The first year of our marriage. The very first year we were married. He was already keeping a woman on the side. That year, I was still helping him handle company affairs. Working late into the night every day. Thinking I was building a future for the 2 of us. How pathetic. There's more. Fang Yuanzhou took a manila envelope from his briefcase and gave it to me. Take a look at this. I opened the envelope. Photos of Hua Shiyan embracing a bikini-clad woman. They were on a luxury yacht, smiling brightly. That woman wasn't Secretary Zhao. And it wasn't any of the names mentioned before. Who is this? I asked. His new fling. They just met last month. She's an internet celebrity. Name's Anchi. Fang Yuanzhou said. His yacht, bought last month for 30 million. It's registered under this Anchi's name. I stared at the photos. I laughed, absurdly. How could I have ever fallen for a man like this? Fang Yuanzhou, I looked up. Is this enough evidence to make him leave with nothing? For just a divorce, yes. He leaned back in his chair. But if you want to put him behind bars, we're still missing a piece. To prove his asset stripping from the company, we must prove deliberate malice and a massive sum. What we have now only proves he violated company financial policies. For criminal charges, we need a direct admission. Or chat logs between him and his mistress discussing the transfers. Something that proves intent. Not just poor financial management. I thought for a moment. Secretary Zhao gave me a USB drive. It has some chat logs and recordings on it. Check if it's useful. Yuanzhou scanned the drive. His eyes lit up. This is good. Chats about the 3 billion dowry with Secretary Zhao. They discuss funneling company money for property. There's also a recording. Him instructing Zhao on the audit. That's enough. Good. I stood up. Keep digging. I'm heading back. Wait. Fang Yuanzhou stopped me. There's one more thing. I think you should know. I paused. He's been in talks with several banks lately for a loan. About 5 billion. Says it's for a new investment project. Fang Yuanzhou's expression turned serious. But if he gets arrested, the loan turns bad. Alert the banks? I considered it. No. Let him borrow. The more he borrows, the heavier the charges. Fang Yuanzhou looked at my expression. And sighed inwardly. Leaving the law firm. My phone rang again. This time, it wasn't Hua Shiyan. It was my assistant, Lin Xiao. CEO Jiang, it's bad. CEO who had just called an emergency meeting at the company. He said you were misled by schemers into auditing the company's books. He said you and lawyer Fong are having an affair, that you're conspiring to seize his assets. I paused mid-step. What else did he say? He said he's calling a shareholders meeting. He wants to have you removed as chairman of the board. Said he's already contacted several other major shareholders. Plans to band together to overthrow you. I laughed. Remove me? I'm the company's largest shareholder. 51%. Even united, they can't touch me. He's a cornered dog, lashing out. Can't even do basic math anymore. He said one more thing. Lin Zhao's voice dropped even lower. He said you and attorney Fong were together back in college. Said you only married him for his family fortune. You funneled him benefits. I looked away. Took a deep breath. He wants to burn it all down. He's about to lose everything. So he's trying to drag me down with him. He no longer cares. Just wants to take as many people down as he can. Lin Zhao. I opened my eyes, my voice steady again. Get me a meeting with all the major shareholders. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Conference room. Emergency shareholders meeting. Understood. CEO Jiang. Secretary Zhao returned to the office. Wanted into the CEO's office. CEO Hu denied entry. They got into a huge fight. The whole floor is watching the drama. I shook my head. Those two are a match made in hell. A scumbag and a gold digger. Put them together and you get a circus. Don't bother with them. I opened the car door. Let the dogs fight it out. As the car pulled away, I remembered our wedding. Hu Shiyan whispered, I'll make you the happiest. I believed him then. Looking back now, the most accurate thing he ever said was probably the officiant's question at the altar, do you? He never deserved me. Next day, 10 a.m., main conference room. All the major shareholders were present. Hu Shiyan sat at the far end of the long table. Suit impeccably tailored, hair perfectly groomed. He looked vibrant, energetic. Nothing like a man whose wife just caught him cheating. Two minor shareholders sat beside him. Allies he'd cultivated over the years. Together, they held about 12%. I sat at the head, flanked by Fang Yuanzhou and my assistant, Lin Zhao. Several documents lay on the table. The top one was the shareholding certificate. Fellow shareholders. Hu Shiyan spoke first. His voice booming like a public address. I've called you all here today to discuss a matter of life and death for this company. He glanced at me, a challenge in his eyes. Recently, someone has been stirring up trouble within my company, attempting to destabilize its steady growth. That's Ms. Jiang, at the head of the table. Major shareholders exchange uneasy glances. Ms. Jiang is, in name only, my wife. But our marriage has been dead for years. He declares righteously. She is now colluding with an outside lawyer, Fang Yuanzhou, in a brazen attempt to seize control of this company. To oust me, the founder. This behavior is a gross violation of the interests of every single shareholder. Hearing this, Fang Yuanzhou almost laughs out loud. Founder? The company started as a small family workshop of his. I built this company with my capital and connections. I am the true founder, not him. Therefore, I propose. Hu Shiyan stands up. I move to remove Ms. Jiang as chairwoman. And that I take her place. We must audit the last 3 years of finances. We need to find out if anyone has been embezzling company assets. When he says anyone, his eyes are locked on me. I lean back in my chair, my expression completely unchanged. Only after he finishes do I speak slowly. CEO Hu's proposal. Is there a second? Silence. A minor shareholder seconds the motion. Another minor shareholder raises his hand. I second it as well. And then, nothing. No other major shareholders move. His face twitches. But he quickly regains his composure. Fine. The motion is seconded. The motion is seconded. We will now proceed to a vote. Wait. I cut him off, rising slowly to my feet. I walk to the whiteboard. I hold 51% of the company's equity. CEO Hu holds 10%. The other 5 here hold 30%. I turned to face him. CEO Hua. How many votes do you think you can actually get? His lip twitches. According to our company's bylaws, any major decision regarding the removal of the chairman requires over 2/3 shareholder approval. I nod slowly. 2/3. That's 66.7%. I hold 51%. As long as I say no, you'll never reach that threshold. His face darkens completely. But that's not the main point. I return to my seat, pick up a file. CEO Hua, the point is, are you even fit to be the company's CEO anymore? I slam the file down in the middle of the table with a sharp crack. Everyone's eyes snap to it. This document. It details his asset diversions over 3 years. 237 million funneled to 4 mistresses and offshore accounts. A collective gasp ripples through the boardroom. Huasher Yan's face turns ghostly white. You're framing me. Framing you? I toss another file onto the pile. These are copies of bank transfer receipts. Every single one has your personal signature. Another file flies. This is your chat history with Secretary Zhao. It shows how you used company funds for that penthouse. Another file hits the table. These are transfer records to influencer Anchi. The yacht is in her name. File after file is thrown onto the table. Like a high-stakes poker game, each reveal a bigger bomb. His face grows paler and paler, finally a deathly white. He opens his mouth to defend himself. But no words come out. Because those signatures are real. Those transfers were his doing. Those women were his. Gentlemen, I turn to the other shareholders. His actions constitute severe violations of corporate law, securities regulations and our charter. As majority shareholder, I move to strip him of his position as CEO. And refer this matter to the authorities. Huasher Yan lurches to his feet. No. You can't do this to me. I'm the founder. Everything this company is today, it's because of me. Because of you? An older shareholder speaks, voice thick with disgust. An old shareholder finally couldn't hold back. This company's success is thanks to CEO Jiang. What have you actually done all these years? We all know the truth. The other shareholders all nodded in agreement. Huasher Yan looked at these people. Like a wild animal surrounded by hunters. His eyes were full of despair. I object, he shouted. You have no right to remove me. I'm a shareholder. I have voting rights. Your voting power. My voice was as cold as ice, has been frozen. Because you are suspected of criminal activity, board motion suspends your voting rights. Right now, all you can do is sit there and listen. He slumped into his chair, completely deflated. He stared at me. He stared at my perfectly calm, expressionless face. And finally, he understood one thing. From the very beginning, he was never a match for me. I let him sit in the CEO's chair. Not because I trusted him, but because I needed a puppet. And him? Not fit as a puppet. Let's vote. I raised my hand. All in favor of removing him as CEO, raise hands. Every single shareholder raised their hand. Even his allies didn't want him dead. Huasher Yan watched as hand after hand went up. He looked completely drained, collapsing into his chair. Unanimous. Gathering my docs. You're no longer CEO, effective now. I'll have your office cleared out. Your access card. The company seal, your signing authority, all of it is revoked. I stood up and walked over to him, looking down at him from above. You think the company succeeded because of you? Let me tell you. The company is where it is today. Because I let you sit in that chair. I let you sit. So you could sit. I don't let you sit, you're out on your ass. His eyes reddened. His lips trembled. But not a single word came out. I turned to face the other shareholders. Everyone. This meeting is adjourned. I will nominate a new CEO candidate within 3 days. We'll reconvene for a vote then. With that, I picked up my bag. And walked out of the boardroom without looking back. This time, I didn't turn around. News of Hua's removal spread company-wide by afternoon. The whole building buzzed. Break rooms, elevators. The restrooms, people were whispering everywhere. Did you hear? CEO Hua got the boot. The chairman gave the order herself. Not CEO Hua. Ex-CEO Hua. He's nothing now. Serves him right, with all those mistresses on the side. Secretary Zhao sat at her desk. Hearing the gossip, her face turned ghostly pale. Her desk was right outside the CEO's office. Once the best spot on the entire floor. I used to be the first to see him walk into the office every day. Watching them pack up was things. Cardboard boxes everywhere. Someone walks past her. Loud enough on purpose, some people. Calling themselves Mrs. CEO. There is no CEO anymore. Secretary Zhao clenches the mouse. Nails dig in, pain without tears. Her phone vibrates. A message from Hua Shiyan. Underground garage. I'm waiting. Secretary Zhao hesitates. Then grabs her bag and slips out without a sound. In the underground garage, Hua Shiyan sits in his black Bentley. Windows sealed tight. She opens the door and gets in. His appearance shocks her. His hair is a mess. Eyes bloodshot, tie hanging loose around his neck. He looks like he's aged 10 years. Darling. Secretary Zhao calls out. He turns to look at her. Exhaustion fills his eyes. Let's run away together. She freezes. I still have money. About 20 million. Hidden overseas, untraceable. Take it. We can start over abroad. Secretary Zhao looks at him. Her expression slowly changes. 20 million? She repeats the number. You told me you had billions. That was the company's money. Not mine. She controls the company now. I can't touch it. Secretary Zhao bites her lip. What about the penthouse? In her hands. She'll reclaim it for sure. My car? She'll reclaim that too. Secretary Zhao is silent for a long time. Then she pulls out her phone. Turns on the recording function. Darling. Say what you just said again. He frowns. What? You said you have 20 million hidden in an overseas account. She can't trace it. Say it again. His face changes. What are you doing? Nothing. Secretary Zhao points the phone at him. I just want a recording. For evidence. Hua Shiyan lunges for the phone. She was ready. Wrenches the door open and jumps out. Secretary Zhao. He chases her, his face a mask of fury. Delete that recording. No. She backs away, trembling. She wants this. She said if I hand over all your evidence, she'll let me go. His face contorts completely. You're working with her? I had no choice. Secretary Zhao sobs. She'll send me to prison. She says I spent 12 million of hers. She'll put me away. What was I supposed to do? I had to listen to her. Hua Shiyan stood frozen like a statue. He thought Secretary Zhao was his last lifeline. His comeback hope. She'd already switched to my side. You bitch. He lunged forward, grabbing Secretary Zhao by the hair. He yanked her to the ground. You recorded me. Secretary Zhao's shrieks echoed through the garage. The noise was so sharp it set off several car alarms nearby. Guards rushed over and pulled him off her. A clump of Secretary Zhao's hair had been torn out. Her face was swollen from a slap. Call the police. Secretary Zhao clutched her face, hysterical. He hit me. He tried to kill me. Hua Shiyan was pinned to the ground by the guards, unable to move. Cursing, you treacherous slut. Just you wait. I'm not done. Zhao crouched, trembling. Her phone screen was cracked, but the recording was still there. She watched Hua Shiyan pinned down like a dog. She laughed bitterly. A golden ticket? A venomous snake. A snake that bit her and devoured her whole. But almost dragged her straight to hell. Half an hour later, the police arrived. As Hua Shiyan was being led into the squad car, I happened to be walking out of the building. Our eyes met. He stared at me through the car window. His eyes filled with pure hatred. You think you've won? Just wait. This isn't over. I looked back at him, silent. The police car drove off, its siren wailing into the distance. Zhao crouched on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. I walked over and looked down at her. Give me the recording. Zhao handed me the shattered phone. I checked the audio. Once I confirmed it was intact, I nodded. I'll tell my lawyer. I'll only pursue civil charges. The 12 million you spent, you'll pay it back over 10 years. 100,000 a month. Whether you can afford it is your problem. Whether you pay it, that's a matter of your attitude. Zhao bit her lip. I'll pay. As I left, Secretary Zhao suddenly called out to me. Ms. Jiang. I stopped. You knew what kind of man he was all along, right? I didn't answer her question. I walked to the Maybach at the garage's end. Secretary Zhao watched my retreating figure. I pieced it together. I knew about the mistress from the start. But I pretended not to. I let him think he was getting away with it. I let him grow bolder and bolder, letting him err until his sins destroyed him. Only then did I strike. This wasn't a wife's revenge. This was a hunter's game. And from beginning to end, he was just prey caught in my net. Secretary Zhao shuddered. Suddenly, she was grateful she was just a small player. At least I'm still useful. I'll give her an out, or she'll be worse off than Hua Shiyan. Hua Shiyan spent 3 days in the holding cell. He thought his lawyer would bail him out in 3 days. That there'd be a way out. What he got was divorce papers. I delivered them myself, in the visitation room at the jail. We sat across from each other, separated by iron bars. He was in that hideous orange jumpsuit, hair a mess. Bruises on his face from that scuffle in the underground garage. I wore a black coat, makeup flawless, looking every inch the queen. A stark contrast to this grimy little room. Sign it. I slid the divorce papers through the gap in the bars. He took them, flipping through page after page. His face got darker with each one. By the last page, it was twisted with rage. Leave with nothing? His voice trembled. You want me to leave with nothing? Not with nothing, I corrected him. You're leaving with debt. You embezzled 237 million from the company. Plus the 500 million in loans you took out from the bank. That's 737 million total. It's your debt now. His eyes went wide. That debt belongs to the company. Why should I pay it back? Because you took those loans out in your personal name. Without board approval. My voice was calm, detached. According to corporate law, an executive who borrows in the company's name without authorization is personally liable for repayment. It's all spelled out in the agreement. You sign this? That debt is officially yours. I'm not signing. He slammed the papers on the table. You're not pinning this on me. Some of that money was spent on you. Don't think I don't know. On me? I raised an eyebrow. Do tell. Where? That watch on your wrist? I bought it. That Maybach you drive? I bought it. That villa you live in? I bought it. I laughed. A beautiful, chilling laugh. It chilled him. Forget where that money came from? I pulled a document from my bag. Your salary came from the company. The assets in your name came from the company. Every penny you had was from the company. I own 51%. So, you used my money to buy me gifts? And now you're telling me you gave them to me? He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. That villa? 12 million down, from the company account. That Maybach? 5 million for the car, transferred from the company account. That watch? 900,000, also from the company account. I listed each. You bought me things with my own money. And he expects me to be grateful? His face is red as a boiled lobster. Sign it. I push the agreement back. I'm not signing. He grits his teeth. I won't divorce you. As long as I don't sign, you can't marry anyone else. You'll still be my wife. If I'm miserable, you're going down with me. I look at his twisted face and suddenly feel sick to my stomach. Even at this point, all he thinks about is dragging me down, getting revenge on me. Fine, don't sign. I stand up. Then I'll handle this a different way. I take a USB drive out of my bag and dangle it in front of him. This drive has all your chat logs and transaction records. With Zhang Qian, Li Wanting, Su Xiaoxiao, and An Qi. 5 of them. Your mistresses gave me evidence. Enough for 5 years. His face goes pale. Sign the divorce papers. And I'll just go after you civilly. Make you pay. Don't sign, and I hand all this evidence over to the DA. You can rot in a cell. I place the drive on the table. Your choice. His hands start to shake. He looks at the little USB drive like it's a venomous snake. He knows I don't make empty threats. I never do. Every word I say is calculated. If I say I'll put you in prison, I have the evidence to do it. His voice is a hoarse whisper. I'll sign. He picks up the pen, his hand trembling so hard he can barely hold it. He scribbles his name on the last page of the agreement. As he finishes the last stroke, a tear falls. It lands on the paper, smudging the ink. I take the agreement and examine it carefully. Satisfied, I put it in my bag. One more thing. I look at him before I stand up. Your mother called me this morning. She said you're no longer her son. She says you humiliated her. She won't help you. His head jerks up. Eyes wide. My mom, how could she? You even lied to your wife. You threw away your family. How dare you call yourself her son? She also said, I should never tell anyone she's your mother. She's too ashamed. He freezes completely. He thought his mother would take his side, defend him. Call me a terrible wife. And what happened? Even his own mother disowned him. Do you really have to be this cruel? His voice cracks. Cruel? I repeat the word. Smiling. When you cheated, did you think you were cruel? When you were using company money to fund your mistresses, did you think you were being cruel? When you told others your wife was a boring hag, did you think you were being cruel? He has nothing to say. I'm not cruel. I turned and walked out. I'm just not a fool anymore. As I walked out of the visitation room, the iron door slammed shut behind me. The sound hit his heart like a sledgehammer. 1 week later, a red carpet was rolled out in front of the corporate headquarters. Today is the day I officially take over as CEO of the corporation. No, not take over. It's a return. 3 years ago, when I handed the CEO position to him, everyone thought I was just a lovesick heiress. A woman who gave up her career for love. 3 years later, I used an iron fist to kick him out of the game. I became CEO, shaking the city's business world. Major media reporters waited at the entrance. Cameras and mics aimed at the doors. At 9 a.m. sharp, a black Maybach stopped before the red carpet. The door opened. I stepped out. I was wearing a burgundy suit dress. The cinched waist accentuated every perfect curve. The hem stopped 2 fingers above my knees, revealing long, slender legs. On my feet were 10-centimeter black stilettos. The heels were needle thin, yet I stood as steady as a rock. My hair, slightly curled, cascaded over my shoulders, framing a face that was flawlessly beautiful. Dangling from my ears were 2 teardrop-shaped ruby earrings, glittering brilliantly in the sunlight. Instantly, a sea of camera flashes erupted. I lifted my chin slightly and stepped onto the red carpet. I walked, step by deliberate step, towards the building's entrance. Reporters swarmed forward. Security formed a human wall to hold them back, but they couldn't block the barrage of sharp questions. CEO Jiang, how many years will Hua Shiyan get? CEO Jiang, is it true you kicked his mother out of the Hua family too? CEO Jiang, will the company change its name to Jiang? I didn't answer a single question. I didn't even glance their way. I walked straight into the building. As I crossed the lobby, every single employee stood up. Not just the executives. Every single person. From the receptionist to the janitor. From the programmers to the sales team. They all stood and watched the woman walking in on the red carpet. Someone started clapping. It began sparsely. Then more and more people joined in. The applause swelled like a tidal wave, engulfing the entire building. My stride never faltered. I crossed the lobby and stepped into the CEO's private elevator. As the doors closed, the applause continued. Inside the elevator, it was just me and my assistant, Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao's eyes were red and brimming with tears. CEO Jiang, everyone's so happy for you, she choked out. I glanced at her. A faint, knowing smile touching my lips. I said nothing. The elevator stopped on the 28th floor. As the doors opened, the floor was redone. CEO's office replaced with Chairman CEO. The door handles were brand new, gleaming brass. The carpet was a deep, rich burgundy. I walked into the office. I stood at the windows, gazing at the skyline. 20 years ago, my father built this business empire from nothing. 10 years ago, I merged our family corporation with the Hua families. We formed a new company. 3 years ago, I gave him the group. Thought he'd care for it. Now, I've taken it all back. A knock came. Come in. Fang Yuanzhou walked in, holding a file. This is the indictment against him. The prosecutor's office has approved it. The charges include embezzlement, misappropriation of funds, and fraud. Combined, it's at least 10 years. I took the indictment, glanced at it, and set it on the desk. What about Secretary Zhao? She returned the Riverview apartment. We'll repay the rest. As you instructed, I only pursued civil liability. No criminal charges. Fang Yuanzhou paused. She said, she wants to thank you in person. No need. I turned away. I don't need anyone's gratitude. Yuanzhou looked at my back, hesitating. Are you okay? I turned back, my gaze clear and steady. I'm fine. Never been better. Fang Yuanzhou nodded. He said nothing more, turned, and left. I was alone in the office again. Standing before the windows, I watched the city outside. Hua Shiyan whispered 3 years ago, I'll make you the happiest woman. I believed him then. Now, thinking back, I did become the happiest woman in the world. It's just, my happiness wasn't his to give. I made it myself. My phone vibrated. A text message. From an unknown number. Ms. Jiang. I'm Su Xiao. I know everything about him. Including another account he hid in a Swiss bank. About $20 million. I'll give you the password. I just need one favor. I stared at the message. A slight smile curling my lips again. $20 million. He really did have a backup plan. I dialed Fang Yuanzhou. Find someone for me. Su Xiao. He has another account in a Swiss bank. Around 20 million. Find it. Get it back. I hung up and returned to the window. The city sprawled below. Sunlight washed over my face. It's making me shine from the inside out. Fireworks in the plaza, not for a wedding. It's a coronation ceremony, just for me. From today on, this company no longer has Hua Shiyan. There's only me. I pick up the remote from the desk and switch on the massive screen on the wall. Live feeds from every department appear on the screen. RD, marketing, finance, human resources. Everyone is seated in the conference rooms, waiting for the new CEO's inaugural address. Colleagues. My voice echoes through the entire building via the speakers. I am the new CEO. Effective immediately. I'm now the corporation CEO. Everyone holds their breath. Over 3 years. The company has taken many wrong turns, made many mistakes. But that's all in the past. What matters now is that starting today, we begin again. I pause. My voice growing even more resolute. I'll make this company the industry leader in 5 years. And my goal for myself. Applause erupts once more. This time louder, more sustained than before. I switch off the screen and settle into the brand new CEO chair. It swivels slowly. I take in the spacious, bright office. The city skyline beyond the window. An unprecedented sense of calm washes over me. I take out my phone. Scroll to the contact saved as Dad. This time, I don't hesitate. I call him directly. It rings 3 times. A voice, aged and authoritative, answers. Hello? Dad. My voice catches slightly. It's me. Silence on the other end for a few seconds. Then my father's voice comes through again. Clearly choked up. Kiddo? I saw the news. I'm so proud of you. Tears fall. Dad. I'm sorry. I should have listened. You just had to marry that man, you silly girl. Dad's voice was gentle and kind. I don't care about all that, honey. I only care if you're happy. I am happy, Dad. I'm doing great. I hung up, wiped my tears, and reapplied a light layer of makeup. I picked up the folder on my desk and pushed the door open. Lin Xiao was already waiting at the door. CEO Jiang. The board members are all in the conference room. Let's go. I walked in my heels down the long corridor. Pushed open the conference room door. All the board members stood up. They stared. I calmly sat at the head. I scanned the room, my voice steady and commanding. Let's begin. 2 words. Sharp. Decisive. Unapologetic. No preamble. No emotional appeals. No extra fluff. This is me. She rose, crushed the scum, reclaimed everything. Outside, the sun shone. The city skyline glittered in the light. My era has only just begun.